I know a bit about like Indian spirituality, but not specifically about those stories. I've been wanting to read the Bhagavad Gita forever, though.
Ooh, okay. So there's this really cool guy named Sanjay Patel.
Whoa.
Yeah, he actually did his own version of the the thing.
Yeah.
But these are actually posters of the gods, and he has Ganesha has a sweet tooth. It's a children's story of Ganesh, and it's like super cool. And he has like illustrated stuff. He's Sanjay Patel. I'll send you his stuff. But yeah, you can get this on Amazon.
Wow.
Yeah, and he worked for Pixar and all of that.
Holy crap. Okay, 1 second. I need to write this down. This is a perfect segue, actually. Yeah, so this is actually so perfect. I can't tell you how awesome this is as a beginning, because part of what I was going to talk about today that I wrote down in a list was about what you asked with the personal projects, and how you need to bring something that you're interested in into your personal projects, like and infuse it so that people actually know who you are, independent of like what. Because the portfolio often sort of constrains you down a very narrow path, and the whole point of the personal projects basically is to show them who you actually are and what you're interested in. It doesn't even matter how like what you're interested in and if they like that or not, because you just want to show that you're like you have your own set of interests that are not just in the realm of like Disney and Pixar. Like it'd be so cool for you to bring some of your interest in this stuff into your personal projects. What else? What else are you interested in? Just out of curiosity, like what are your interests aside from like animation and art?
I really like girly things, but my friend has this tiara. So here's an example. My friend has this tiara, and it's really princessy, really cute. But in little letters, it says "fuck you." I like. Oh, I'm a lady, but I'm also kind of a bitch.
Yeah. That's awesome. So ladies with attitude. Or just that's great.
Yeah, I don't know if you've also seen my giant love for Botticelli's Venus.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
That's actually more of a family thing. I was raised by 3 women, practically.
Oh, okay.
One of them looks like Venus. The other lives like Venus, and my mom is Venus. But the one who looks like Venus, she actually had like this on her whole wall. She had this like a statue in her garden. And I mean, I was the first kid of all 3 women, so it was like, woohoo! Raised by women.
Awesome.
And I'm the only girl too. So
see, you should write down this stuff and like use this for the stories that you make, because the best stories that you can make are from your own experience. So like that's already kind of a pretty cool story, honestly. Like you already have like if you just share things about your life and the experiences that you've had in some way, if we can sort of channel this into like some kind of little personal piece, I think that'd be pretty awesome. Like you've got some good stuff already. What else? What else are you a fan of? Just anything, like anything that.
Well, the things I'm telling you are all kind of like weird about me. Like these are the really weird things. But when I was 18, I went on a 10-week excursion on my own to Europe.
Oh, cool!
Yeah,
wow.
For all myself. It was right after graduation. Huh? Sorry? Are you there?
Oh.
Oh, you're back.
Okay. I was just asking if you said, did you say 10 week?
10 week.
Wow. That is a long time. That's awesome.
Yep. The day after graduation, my high school graduation, I got on a plane to Germany. I had blue hair. I was 18, and I was going to meet my mom's friend Heike who then became like my German mom. And
Oh,
then,
okay.
yeah, and I have friends and family abroad, so I stayed with them. I
Yeah.
took a kind of a detour too up to Scotland, and it was cool.
Amazing.
Yeah, I've
That's
had a
so
weird life.
great.
Thank you. I needed to realize how weird my life was.
No, that's great. This is all of these things are perfect material. See, what a lot of people are going to be handing in for this portfolio is like just like, oh, here's another robot. Here you go, Sheridan. Like it's so typical what like most of the people that are handing stuff in have. It's just like the same stuff, and it's easy to find because it's pretty much all DeviantArt. Like just go there if you need to see the kind of stuff that people are already handing in. A lot of furries, a lot of like anime still, despite that everyone knows that you shouldn't hand in anime for animation at Sheridan. And like, yeah, like there must be tons of little things that happen to you that you experienced on your travels that could like give you some great material to work from.
Yeah. Gosh, there's just so much. Let's see. Oh, I went to an Aussie bar in England, and one of the guys got so hammered that he started to pierce his own ears with like one of the girls. I'm like, oh, dude.
Oh my
Um,
God.
yeah, no, they were crazy people, and his name was Sparkles. Yeah, and wore a sailor hat. Um, Another fun fact about me: when I was in kindergarten, for Mother's Day, they're like, draw your mom something, draw her a gift, like a flower or something. I decided to draw her and Bugs Bunny in matador suits.
That's amazing. See that you could do like a little story about how like your mom was like such a special person for you. So you drew her with your favorite character, and then you could like make a story about what they would be like if they had ever met or if they'd been together or something. There's just like this is golden material for storytelling. I'm
This
telling you.
is gold. Thank you. No, it takes kind of another person to bounce back off of, you know?
Yeah, totally. We should do more of this, honestly. This is like these are where the great ideas come from. And yeah, sometimes like it takes you like for example, I went to an event last Friday. I was sort of the featured person for this event, and it was an improv, like improvisation comedy.
Yes.
So it was like an improv comedy show, but like how it worked was that they bring in people from this city that are doing interesting things, and then they make improv skits out of whatever it is that I share. So I can share anything. I could just share weird things about like my childhood, or like just about I told them about the children's book that I'm working on right now, and they made a bunch of skits out of that. And that was like so cool because it really honors like the weirdness of your life. And just like they even asked me like in advance of this event happening, they're like, what are some like weird things that like you've been through in your life? And I was like, oh, I don't know, like I don't think I've been through that many things. But then they were like, oh, come on, like just anything. Like, how did you start doing art? And I was like, well, I started drawing
No.
dinosaur drew. Yeah,
Are you there?
dinosaurs. Did you do that too?
No. You broke out, and I'm like, oh no, did you freeze?
Oh,
Yeah. So you
no,
were
just
doing
that.
dinosaurs?
Yeah. So the first thing that I drew ever was pretty much dinosaurs, and I told them that, and they're like, oh, great, like that's awesome, that's so strange, like we're gonna make a skit out of that. And I'm like, oh, interesting, okay, well, then I just kept thinking, and as like they started to like realize how my life was actually quite individual and unique, I was like, I could just think of so many more things. Like I also carried around 2 shoeboxes full of markers underneath either arm in elementary school everywhere that I went, because I always wanted to have markers, but like I was very stingy about who could use them.
Oh my
So
god,
like they'd have to be treated very well, and I was just such a strange kid. And
that's
then
awesome.
yeah, just a whole bunch of weird things. And even like when I went traveling this year or last year now, I guess, like I went sailing. I went fishing with like a guy in Zanzibar in a boat that was made of a mango tree. Like just like that kind of stuff is great. Like they love that. There's so much to work off of. So yeah, just like, and this would be a good exercise, but it's probably better when we do it in dialogue like this. But just like think of all of your the weird things that have happened to you, or just like weird things in your life that like you paid attention to for whatever reason. Maybe even at the time it was sort of unclear why you remember it so well. Like, for example, I know that my grandpa, I didn't know him for very long. He was only alive for like 4 years of my life. But the one thing that I remember about something that the lesson that he imparted onto me was basically that when people die, they evacuate their bowels. Like, that was like the main thing.
Thanks, Grandpa.
I just didn't know that happened, and that was so strange to me that I remembered it forever. And this is like, I hardly remember what he looks like, but that's what I remember about that relationship.
Oh, man. Oh, gosh. I wish I could tell you about my grandmother.
Yeah.
It's kind of dark where she comes from.
Okay.
So your relationship is a lot better with my grandma. But when I was first born, and my mom's holding me, and she's, grandma comes in, she's like, oh, thank God. One of my kids was born with Indian blood. Finally, she'll look good in turquoise. And the next thing that left her lips were, well, I hope she's pretty, but not too pretty enough that people will want to rape her or something else. And my mom's just kind of like, or else what? What? So, grandma's a little cuckoo cuckoo. Yeah, grandma has a lot of weird.
That's great. Weird grandmas are in like every animated thing, I swear. Like Mulan with like the grandma that has like the cricket that's like good luck, and it's like crazy old I don't know. It's just, that's exactly how storytellers make their content, is by like looking into their past, seeing all these weird things, and surmising something about humanity because of it. Like how people are so weird, and like a lot of people, they forget that. They forget how weird we are, and like they just make stories that are very normal and like cookie cutter, and just like it's nothing really that interesting about them. But yeah, the best parts about stories are what, like these strange oddities of life, because like everyone has them. That's the thing. Like everyone has these things, but we just forget about them all the time. So yeah, like yeah, to get personal projects, like I would, so I have a list of things that I would do basically if I was going to do the portfolio again, which were all way better than the personal projects that I had, and they were just insane. They had no direction. They weren't specific to animation at all, which is the opposite of what you should do. You should make your personal projects, like it should be very clear from your personal projects that, oh, this person is clearly already pretty much in animation, but they're just not trained. Like you're already a student of animation, but you don't have the education. So you need that from them to be able to make it work. That's basically what they want to hear. Oh, shoot. Okay, so I have two computers here. 1 second, I'm just gonna open up the list.
Oh yeah, don't worry.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying your studio.
Yeah, this is it.
Nice.
It's got this crazy fabric right here. And it's very white, especially these walls.
Ooh.
It's like space for paintings. Basically, it's to hang up paintings eventually. So they keep it pretty bare when there's nothing going on. But yeah, we teach here too. Often me and Karen will have students here. And yeah, this is be where you were if you were a local student.
Darn.
Yeah. So let's see. Okay, so some of these are more general things about personal pieces, and then some are like specific things that I think you should do. But so basically, you look at how you go about making any kind of personal thing. Is that you look at what the actual portfolio requirements already are, which is like summarized. They're like life drawing / anatomy, some cartooning stuff, some stuff that shows a little bit of your storytelling, your creativity, and then technical like the object drawing and the perspective one. That's pretty much the four main categories. So what you basically want to do is look at those categories and do something similar to those, but more personal, more unique, which is where your stories come in perfectly. And then also just basically expand upon what they're already doing. So how they ask you to have like a character design and a character rotation, you could do that same thing, but instead of for an actual like character, maybe it's an object that they might interact with regularly. Maybe it's like an old computer that's been like rigged to hook up to like some kind of crazy machine or something that is like keeping this sacred plant alive. I don't know, like just some kind of prop that the character might interact with. Just design that. You could even do a rotation of like a certain like tool, maybe like this magic wrench or something that the character interacts with. Just like, and how would that, and make it as interesting as possible. So like for example, in my story, compasses. The main character interacts with compasses a lot because every child has to make their own compass. I don't know if I told you at all about the story, but basically every child has to make a compass and they carry it with them on their back. So basically, as they grow up, they slowly create this compass, and then eventually that compass like points them in the right directions throughout their life. So it's sort of like this idea of a moral compass and how the influences that we let into our lives will eventually direct us and sort of guide us in where we go.
I like that.
That's the synopsis of the story. But you'll see the actual storybook soon. So yeah, like for me, I would design what would these compasses look like? What kind of straps do they have? And don't just do like a final version of it, but show the process. They love seeing process. So I was going to bring up a Pinterest page. I'll do a screen share in a bit, but do a Pinterest search of visual development artist. Visual development artist is basically the animation version of concept art. Concept art is more of a video gamey type term. But yeah, same idea, but for animation is whenever they have to design an environment, prop, or character, they send it right to the either visual development artists or character designers. Character designers are more like pencil based, usually, like drawing the actual sketches of like hundreds and hundreds of different characters until they get the right one. Visual development artists, they use color. They sort of get the feel for the film. They really are like the conceptual artists of the film, of what it would look like. So yeah, design a prop. Even take one great exercise is taking something ordinary and then infusing it with some kind of crazy style. So one exercise that we did in school was taking an object that already exists and then bringing it to a different artistic movement. Like, so I chose Art Deco, which is like a very weird sort of industrial type art movement in the mid 20th century and mostly in America actually. And it was very weird looking, but very like ovally and had its own sort of look. And I chose body armor. So like, what would body armor look like if it was in Art Deco era? Or like one silly one that my friend did, which was a hilarious presentation, was like just a clipboard, which is very boring, but in Greek times, as if it was used by like royalty. So it was like he made it as designed in a similar way to like a Roman column. It was like had that same sort of architectural look. So just like things like that are really cool. And you see that all the time in animation when they do jokes that involve like some kind of modern thing, but then it takes place in like the Prince of Egypt or something. It'll take place in a different time era, so they need to like transport it, but it's still sort of the same thing. So they do this all the time. So you could design some sort of prop. Prop design is really a huge field actually. So to show that you can do a little bit of that, I would do an environment design, and not so much as just like a painting, but just like, you know how some animators will think about like a room that the character might interact with, and they basically draw the room but cut out two walls so that you can see inside, sort of like a dollhouse. Interior designers also do this. So you just draw the room and like place things in it as if it's going to be used, and you need to see like all of it or something. So that would be cool, like a little cabin or maybe an apartment in Paris, or there's just so many things, a little hut, a little yurt in Macedonia or something. Just like something cool, something interesting, something Indian maybe, like bring your own interest of your Indian theology into that. That could be awesome. Yeah, I just wrote that. Let your personal pieces show more of your personality than the actual portfolio items that they give you opportunity for. So just like, and put as much of your own interests and personality into it as you can. So do a good like mental digging as to what those things might be. And yeah, that would be definitely what I would recommend. Yeah. Oh yeah, okay. So this is a good one that I thought of that I think would be a good idea. I don't know exactly what this might entail, but I'll let you think about this for a bit anyways. Um, Consider a homage to a particular piece of animation or film maybe, like in film history, like some of the classics even. They love classic films, like not even just in animation, but like in just classic films. So like Alfred Hitchcock, Orson Welles, those kind of directors, or Billy Wilder, even old the like Charlie Chaplin or Buster Keaton. Those are like the silent film guys. So you'll end up studying them anyways in animation because they were so much of the conception of animation. They like really contributed to it, especially people like Charlie Chaplin that did like a lot of silent humor type thing. Yeah, that if you could do some kind of homage to that in
Okay.
any way, shape, or form, you'll get like huge bonus points.
Sweet.
So I was even thinking like one thing that we did as an exercise in our storyboard class was we would actually like freeze frame. Our storyboard teacher had picked various famous movies that were great examples of like good storyboarding. One of them was called North by Northwest by Alfred Hitchcock, I believe. And yeah, it's like an old classic. And so we did the whole beginning. Every time it changed scene, or the scene changed a lot because sometimes the camera rolls on a certain scene for a long time. So every time the scene changes significantly, or it just changes scene, he would freeze it for 30 seconds and do a sketch of it. And what that helps to do is it's actually such a good exercise. I wish that I still did this. But
That's good.
yeah, like what it does is it just trains you to look at the composition of film really quickly and get the gist of what they do in film. Because otherwise, like it's storyboarding is a much harder battle if you're just sort of learning conceptually about it. It's better just to like look at people that have already done it well and draw directly from their work. So just like they don't have to be detailed sketches, but just like a character head and then like not a stick person, but a little bit more developed than a stick person, sort of like a life drawing gesture would be good. As storyboards often are, they are quite rough, so you can usually get away with not too much detail, but enough so that the scene makes sense. So we would just like pause it every single scene and show like a complete sequence. So we're basically acting as if we were the storyboard artists for that film. That would be huge, especially if it was animated. I mean, you could pick an animated film that you really like. Just like storyboard a scene and just let them know that like, oh, I just did a storyboard analysis of this specific scene in this movie because I really liked it. That kind of thing, like they would really, really like.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
That's really good actually, because like it's good to practice your composition, but also like what makes animation good.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the best. And what would be even better? So while you're doing that, just take mental notes and write them down on the page. Be like, oh, I really like how this shot was done, and like, and I like how the camera like panned into this person's face really closely, and then I cut to like a long shot of this. Just like a bit of analysis, just a very mild analysis of what you liked and didn't like. They might not read it, but if it's brief, they probably will. They'll probably see it as a byproduct of looking at the page. So something like that, and then conversely, like then maybe on the next page, draw your own storyboard that's sort of inspired by what you saw. That's just great work practice. These things alone, I would say, would be like a huge component of you getting in, just because it's like in a way it's actually more relevant than the content that you're giving you. It's just that they need to give you very general portfolio guidelines. Everyone can understand it, but this is like a much deeper interest in animation. Like they're way more interested in knowing that you're already sort of like doing the work that you're going to be doing in the program. So these are a bunch of the assignments that we had to do. A couple more. And you only have 5, so obviously you need to, but like, for example, the storyboard analysis and then a storyboard of your own that's inspired by that storyboard, that could be 2 pages stapled that are maybe counting as the same piece. You could just say that what a lot of people do is they'll include like some pages of a sketchbook, and that'll just be like the sketchbook portion. So it'll be like one piece, so it won't count as like a page per personal piece. And you could do that if you have sketchbooks that have a lot of sketches in them. They definitely like to see that. However, what I would do if you are going to do that, just make sure that you take pictures. They don't want the originals, obviously. So take pictures that are nice and clear, and that and arrange like Photoshop. I don't know if you're that good at Photoshop, but just like you probably know enough to be able to like lasso out your favorite ones and combine them together onto a couple pages. Because they don't want to see like, well, they don't want to see, and you also don't want them to see every page of your sketchbook. They only want to see like the best work. So just find your best sketchbook work, combine it all into like a couple of pages, because again, they don't have time to look through your sketchbook. What some people do is they'll put little sticky notes in some of the pages so that it lets them know where to look. But that's like, make it as easy for them as possible. Like don't even give them a whole sketchbook. Just like do the work for them and arrange it yourself in Photoshop and then just print it out in good, nice quality paper, and then you're good to go. Presentation goes a long way. So, and also obviously, just like I said, minimizing the work that they have to do when they look at your portfolio, that's huge too. Yeah, storyboard analysis, you want storyboard, prop design, environment design, and then the last thing would be, and this is also equally important, this covers the sort of technical / light drawing side of things. Anatomy analysis of an animal or human. So there's probably examples of this online. One word that you can look at is called, oh God, 1 second, I'm gonna search this so that I can confirm that this is actually the right word. I think it is. It's called like encourage or something. It's a French word. Encourage drawing, let's see. Encourage, yeah, that's it. Yeah, so basically, yeah, I'll show you some examples. Wow, these are super intense. You don't need to go this deep. But this is the kind of like general sort of analysis that they're looking for. It's pretty much like the way that Leonardo da Vinci worked. He would like take specific things and then do studies of them. So like take a forearm and break that down into pieces. This is how you spell it. I just posted in the little chat thing. It's called écorché. So search that and do something similar to that, and like just label the muscles. So like if you did an arm or a chest or back, just or an animal, and maybe an animal posed in certain ways, but don't make it too difficult for yourself, because then you risk screwing it up. As I would too. I don't know how animal muscles work, but if you did that kind of analysis, that you also do that in the program at some points. So you could just take a human leg, draw it from the front, side, and back, and then look at reference. So obviously just look at an anatomy book if you have any, or just anatomy references online, and figure out where the muscles are. And ideally, like you can do this before, so I can correct it if it's weird. But yeah, just like draw the muscles through the skin. So like draw the outline of the leg, and then like draw the muscles as they are. Even render them a little bit, like do a little bit of shading. Maybe even a little bit of like coloring if you want to. If you search the encourage drawing, it'll show you a bunch of examples. But yeah, just like that kind of analysis, and then labeling some of the muscles. Not like every little one. There's a lot that are really insignificant, but just the big ones like biceps, triceps, deltoid, like carpals, metacarpals, any kind of bone that you might see. That kind of thing is really, it goes a long way, especially because one of the life drawing teachers I know for a fact actually marks the portfolios. His name is Mark Thurman, I believe. So he'll love seeing that. Like that's a great one for him.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think that's a good bunch of personal projects for you to be able to do.
Yeah, no, this is like a whole page of homework.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously like whatever you have time for. But that would be like optimal, I would say. That would be the best case scenario. So if you can do anything remotely along those lines, it's definitely gonna be good. And presentation is huge. That's something that we might discuss a little later on, but like if you present it really nicely and really easily, it makes it even easier for them. You don't want to make it like any kind of labor for them to have to like be like, oh crap, like where's the page that she wants me to look at? Like I can't find it. Is it this one? Is it this one? Like I don't have time, because they're looking at like hundreds of portfolios. So they're just like flipping through them. So just have like, well, what I would do is like get a portfolio case and then put have it all laid out page for page. So you just go through the portfolio pieces that they require in order, obviously, and then your 5 personal piece and label them like personal piece number 1, personal piece number 2, anatomy drawing, personal piece number 3, storyboard analysis, things like that. That's huge. Oh,
there we go.
Yeah, froze. It's so ridiculous. One little thing about the studio is that my internet pretty much shuts down every like 15 minutes or so and then boots back up. It's ridiculous. I don't know why this is still happening. Yeah.
Well, no, thank you so much, and I hope you fix your internet. But this looks like a great list to work from. So
Yeah.
far.
Yeah, that's like the best list I can possibly think of for sure.
Yeah, this is a lot to eat.
Yeah. Some of it will take longer than others. Like, for example, one thing that you could probably do pretty quickly is a little storyboard thing. Because just like pick any movie and then just do like 1 page. So make like, if you have 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, just like maybe 3 by 5 or something down, and then just draw little thumbnails, not like big. They don't have to be shaded, just little compositional studies of each frame. And yeah, that'll be good. You can probably do that like in ideally a couple hours, maybe even less. So that's pretty economical. The anatomy drawing might take a little bit more time. I'd give that like a few hours, maybe 3 to 5.
Definitely.
What may take longer is the actual prop design and environment design stuff, because then you need to think of like what that prop is going to be used for. There needs to be a bit of a story around it. Anything that involves story always takes longer, but it also lets you show more of your personality. So it's sort of a trade-off.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Perfect. And then what else can we talk about aside from this? How much time do we have?
Oh, there we go.
Yay!
Yeah.
All right. So, what else can we talk about for the next however long? Anything that you would recommend for portfolios? I don't know.
Well, where are you at? I think right now it's more of an issue of like time management, I would assume, because you have like not enough time to do tons of things, and you're still in classes? Question mark.
Class February 1st.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Shoot. So things are gonna pick up. Yeah. Like I don't know. It's amazing how but to be honest, like every artist struggles with this same thing. Like I am right now, like this whole like time management thing and knowing where your time goes. Which I'm gonna make a list for you of different techniques that I've used. I think that'll be really helpful, more helpful than me just telling you, because a paper, like I'll make it into like a poster. So if you want, you can print it out as like an actual poster.
Good. I need more posters on this go.
Awesome. That's good to know. Yeah, like, and I've been wanting to do this for ages anyways, just make like not like a motivational poster, but like a poster of like just a good set of reminders to like refresh your mind every now and then, because like we do need that. We do need like knowing like, oh shoot, like, yeah, I need to just go for a walk. Like if you're stuck with your ideas, go for a walk, and that'll give you more ideas just in the process of moving around and moving your body a little bit than like your desk and just like bang your head against the desk for hours. You'll save like so much time just by just taking some time away and like doing something completely different. Things like that. Those are huge time savers. it's funny because they don't seem like it. They seem like, oh, I'm just gonna like piss off and go for a walk, but really you're actually saving time by doing that. I've like, it's such a mind game because I have this current thing where I have to sketch for 30 minutes a day. So that's like one of my current goals is to every day sketch for 30 minutes. Right now it's sort of specifically from this comic because I'm gearing up to make my own comic. So I want to like learn about the process of making comics. So I'm sketching from this comic book, and it's like, and again, it's like that whole idea of studying from the masters. So finding someone that is already doing this really well and just copying them. And I'm not like pawning it off as my own. It's just for my own study. It doesn't matter. It's just practice. So it's the fastest way to learn. It's so much faster than doing your own and sort of just trying to figure it out yourself. You need to have someone that's really good already, and then you'll make up so much time so much faster. So yeah, but still 30 minutes a day. Like, it's amazing how difficult it is to just do that, just to like sit down and 30 minutes, but you have to do whatever you can. So if that means like getting up crazily early, like at 6 a.m. and doing like an hour extra of drawing a day, that's what it has to take. Like, that's just, this is like, it's a discipline of like perseverance. It's just one term that I really like is you have to maximize your pencil mileage. So you need to like, have you heard that before?
Yeah, that's what one of my one of my first teachers says. If you want to become a great artist, you have to put the miles in your pencil. So, and you're gone.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Yep.
Yeah, we're back.
Yep.
Yeah,
We're back.
like just like burn through pencils. Like, in fact, what a good indicator is if you buy, I don't know if you use still like wooden pencils versus mechanical ones, but just count how many pencils you're going through. And if you're not going through very many pencils, then you're not working enough. Like, you should be like just going right through those pencils like nothing else. And just like for me, I've had my sketch, this is such like a shameful thing for me to admit, because like I'm still struggling with this, but like, I need to be, yeah, don't tell Karen. Well, no, she draws less than I do, but I've had my sketchbook that I currently am using for like 7 months or something. Like, that is such a shameful thing to admit. Like, and it's funny because sometimes I play this mind game with myself. I call them like stories. Like, I have these stories about why I do the things that I do. It's like stories of belief, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's like the sketchbook is like, it costs 10, 15 bucks or whatever. And like, I don't want to go through it so fast because then it's going to cost me a lot of money to keep buying new sketchbooks. But like, really, like, what else? Like, what is a better investment than a whole bunch of sketchbooks with drawings? Like, there's not really anything else, considering how much of impact those sketchbooks that you've gone through mean for your career. Like, for example, if you think of your tuition, like at Sheridan, it's $9,000 a year. If you go through 3 sketchbooks a month, that's maybe like 40 bucks or more, but roughly that much. But that means you've gotten $40 worth better. Like, that's so much. That $40 actually is a great investment because of the amount of time and effort that it means that you're spending in your artwork.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about like rewiring our crazy minds.
That's actually a really good way to put it too. Like, oh, hey, I can become like more expensive. Like,
yeah,
a really good prostitute. The more experience that you have, the better the clientele, right?
Yeah.
The opposite. But I feel bad for you because I have an art store here, and their like regular standard sketchbook for like 200 pages is $5.
Oh my God. That's crazy. I'm buying the wrong sketchbooks. You know what I'm considering doing is just buying a clipboard and buying reams and reams of paper and just like stuffing them in.
Yeah, actually, there's an artist that my friend was taught by. He would take these giant pieces of paper, and he'd have like a whole stack, and he designed Jack and Dexter, and for Dexter he used the whole stack, front and back, of all character designs. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, if you can work some kind of situation out, I think like it'll help you produce your stuff so much faster. Um, so this and more ideas on the poster to that's forthcoming. But
Definitely, I'm excited.
yeah. So how is your weeks now? Like you didn't have any work for this week. So what's going on?
So my friend and I decided to get intoxicated,
Yeah.
and he had a bad trip.
Oh,
And
okay.
during said trip, he decided he was gonna either kill me or kill him because he needed to be closer to death and a lot of stuff, shit. And he got our roommate involved, and then he ran away for like an hour. You there? You there?
Oh shit. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I just came back on again.
It's all
So I got to the point of when he needed to kill you or kill him or something.
yeah. So he started to like freak out, and he got our roommate involved, and our roommate's kind of a psychiatrist. And
Oh,
then
okay.
and then he ran away for about an hour.
Yeah.
So I needed to go hunt him down. And yeah, my friend had a very, very bad trip.
So
So
this was on Sunday?
yeah, this was on Sunday, and
Oh, okay.
he's recovered. I don't know how he's doing, but he's better now.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
But in terms of like your own like process, your week of work, like other than that day in particular, like what
I've
was
been,
obstructing
I've
your
been
view?
trying to be more productive. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, yeah, no
But
problem.
yeah.
I'm just curious if there's anything that I can help with, or if there's any specific things that might be an issue for like producing work. I don't know. Other than, of course, all the mental games that we play with ourselves that we've already discussed. But
Yeah. I think I've been out and about too much, and I'm finally sitting down.
yeah.
Is something alive over there?
Sorry.
It sounds like there's something alive over there.
Oh
It's
God, I hope not. There's no one else here, at least that I know of. Maybe there's a studio ghost.
ooh. Um, but yeah, so I'm sitting down today, and I'm just getting my shit done because I've been watching. I have a sketchbook that I call the cheat book, and you're gone. You're back.
Sketch.
Yay! All right, so where did we leave off?
Just like something about sitting down, like you need to sit down more.
Yeah, I need to sit down like in a place that I feel comfortable. So like going out to a library or something, or it's
Yeah,
just
change the location up. That's a great idea. I think
yeah,
like working at home is incredibly difficult for whatever reason. I find the same thing. That's why I'm renting this place. Having a different location is huge. I would definitely recommend it if you can, especially if it's nearby. Yeah, I would do
thank
that.
God for Starbucks, right?
Sorry?
Thank God for Starbucks, right?
Yeah, exactly. Any like cafes are great. Plus, then you feel awesome because you're like the only artist there.
Yeah, and you get like attention, and people are like, "Ooh, what are they doing?"
Yeah, there's nothing like someone coming up. Like one time, I brought this laptop and this little tablet here to a cafe, and I have this animation software that's really really good, and it's very like it's not memory intensive, so it can work really easily on a laptop. And I was animating in a cafe, which is hilarious if you consider that like Disney had like these massive machines that they used to use to like help them to be able to test the animation, whereas now just do it on a laptop. So that was like a good little reflection. I'm like, this is huge. But then people see what you're doing and they're like, whoa, like what is that? Like, what are you doing? And then they see you like flip through the motion and see like characters move around and stuff. And they're like, whoa, like that's crazy. Like I need to like, tell me about this and who are you and what the heck are you doing? It's like it makes you feel like a celebrity.
Yeah, it really does. Have you ever gotten job offers? Like when you're sitting down doing art?
It's funny that you say that. I've gotten like some interesting conversations and requests for potential work. I'll have to search my brain, but nothing that contributed to like concrete work. But that said, that's because I don't even go that much. But even as much as I do go, I still find that every now and then people will come up and they're like, oh, well, I'm working on this with my university degree, and it'd be really nice to have an animated video to help communicate that a little bit easier. And I'd be like, yeah, totally. Well, give me a shout. And they email me sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't work out. But still, like that's crazy. Like if I was there all the time, I bet I would definitely get job offers that way. So yeah, it's a great idea, especially for like drawing. If you have like a big pad of paper and you have a nice drawing going, somebody, especially like elderly folks, I find, because they have money to blow, they'll like actually pay you to like draw stuff for them. So yeah.
I was
Or
actually
paintings.
I was actually at an interview for Coffee Bean, and I was just sitting down waiting for the interview to start, and the guy next to me was like, "Hey, are you an animator?" I'm like, "Kind of." Why? He's like, "I'm looking for animators to animate my movie." Like all of this stuff. I'm like, "Oh my god, seriously?"
Crazy.
Yeah. So there's some weird people out there, definitely.
Yeah. You know, even if it doesn't work out with that person, always get their contact just in case.
I did actually. I took him over to my friend who's more into animation than I am, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I've heard of him before," and she's like, "Blah blah," telling me about this guy, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh."
Crazy.
It is.
Yeah, and you're right in the central hub for that stuff. Like I'm way up in Canada, so like I'm far away from the making of animations other than my own freelance stuff. However, that provides its own unique benefit because then I'm like a unique attribute of this place. Whereas there's only like, I think there is one other animator in the city. So
Really?
I know him. So it's just like if he ever has extra work, he sends it to me. If I ever have extra work, I send it to him.
That's
So,
neat. I like
yeah.
that.
Yeah. Well, don't even get me started on the ability of freelance animators today, because everyone thinks like you still need to go to a studio, but no longer. It's more expensive to employ people in studio because you have to pay for a computer and a desk and all the equipment. Whereas if you're a freelancer, you get all that yourself, and usually it's just like your work computer or whatever. But also it's awesome because then you can do it anywhere. You can be like at a cafe drawing and being paid hourly for that. That's like, so definitely be an animator, but also don't keep your sights only on studio work. There's a lot of other work other than studio work. So, but that's a later thing. Just worry about getting in for now. You need to go through the program first.
I need to be trained first.
Yeah. But I hope that was a bunch of good information. That's like the best things I could come up with for personal pieces. I'm glad that you mentioned that in advance, because I sort of, as I was working on my stuff today, I was sort of mulling it over and thinking about it as I was going. So yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So definitely, if there's any in your work, if there's any subjects that come up that you get stuck on or you're confused about, just write them down or take like have a little notepad for that stuff. And then just like email it to me the day of or the day before, even better. Then I'll target those things specifically. That way it can be like very concentrated. Because when you pick things that you're stuck on that you need help with, it's way easier for me to work that way than for me to just sort of be pulling things out. Because there's like books and books of like artistic learning that is sort of stored in my brain somewhere, but readily available. There's only like a lobby of furniture that are in the forefront of my brain, and I can only access those things until you mention something. Then I'm like, oh shoot, yeah, I got that up there. Oh yeah, I got this over here. So just let me know those specific things, and they're there somewhere.
They're just hiding. You gotta go find them.
They're in hibernation.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Garth.
No problem. And has Karen emailed you? Well, she's been emailing you a whole bunch, but I think she emailed you maybe today about like talking to you later tonight. I'm not sure if she was gonna have a lesson with you or if it's just like a chat or just a catch up. I'm not sure. Anyways, just like look out for that if she does email
Yeah,
you.
I
I
got
think
her
she said she's free at
email.
like 8 or something.
Yeah, I got her. I replied and everything, but I don't think she's replied back. So I'll look
Okay,
out.
great. As long as you're like on that train, that's good. That's good to
Yeah,
know.
I've
All
got a
right,
plan
cool.
now. I should be more organized.
You got a what? What is that?
It's a pocketbook. It's like daily planner.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Also, another good thing, I'm gonna write this on the sheet actually. I gotta make sure that I remember this. But have like at your work desk, wherever whatever that looks like, if it's your computer or whatever, get actual those yellow sticky notes and
Oh,
just put your to-do items on it. You probably might already be doing this, but this is like a big one. But for each one of those sticky notes, get a different color of sticky notes and break each of those things down into smaller pieces. And then like slowly take them off as you complete them.
look at you being organized and color coded.
Yeah,
Good
it's
job.
I love it. It's the best. Even though I still need to start doing that myself.
I have like a whole stack of sticky notes because I'm like, oh, these are awesome. I animate on some of them, like a ball bouncing or
Yeah.
something.
And then you can do
Yeah,
that for all the rest of them. Awesome. That's a
maybe.
good idea.
Yeah. So I thank you so much, Garth, and I hope to keep in
Problem.
contact with you.
Yeah,
During
for sure.
should we check in tomorrow? If I have anything for you, I'll just send it to you. How about that?
Sure. Yeah. I think I don't know if the payment's gone through yet, but we're doing the half-hour check-in, and that's been working really well with my other students. So he just sends me work as he completes it, basically, and then you basically get a half an hour of my time to sort of fix or suggest certain things or whatever else. So yeah, if you do have any work, just like send it. Even if it's like if you don't feel like it's good, you're like just sort of still mulling it over. Just send it to me anyways, and I'll take a look and I'll give you any kind of feedback that I can think of. And yeah,
Yay!
all right, cool. Sounds good.
All right. Thank you.
All
Have a
right,
good one, Garth.
take care, Mary. See you later.
Bye.